Hi there folks, welcome back to Colorado Curated's Family Meal. This week we will be doing one of America's most beloved comfort foods, chicken pot pie. This dish is wonderful for all leftovers, as well as it brings a feeling of warmth and enjoyment to most people. So let's hop right in. Right over here I've got 1 cup of chicken stock. I do prefer a house-made chicken stock for this, as it has more flavor. Usually I do not mind a store-bought, but for this I do want it. With that, we've got a 1/4 cup of cream. In here I've got sweet peas, diced onion, diced carrot, herbs, bay leaf, and picked chicken. The wonderful part about this is you do not have to cook the chicken yourself. Go to the store, buy a roasted chicken, and just pick it. With that, we've got 1 large pat of butter and about a 1/4 cup of AP flour for our roux. Let's get over to the stove and get this started. So we're going to warm our pan over medium heat, and we are just going to start making a roux. Now to make a roux, all you need is any sort of fat and flour, roughly equal parts. We're going to use butter, as butter with chicken and cream tastes amazing. So we're just going to melt this large pat of butter over medium heat until it's all melted down. After about a minute, your butter should be melted, and we can add in the AP flour. After you add in the flour, make sure to keep whisking this, as this is going to get nice and dark, and we do not want any clumps. So you're going to whisk this roux over heat for about 15 minutes if it's on high heat, or 45 if it's on low. Make sure you feel comfortable with the temp that you're cooking it at, because it's important that we get the roux the right color. We're going for a nice, rich mahogany color, somewhere between a brown and a red. It should look like brick or like a nice piece of wood. After about 15 minutes, it should look very similar to this. This is a nice mahogany or brick roux. It's got a lot of flavor, very little thickening power. So what we're going to do is we are going to add in our solids. This cools down the roux so that it slows cooking, as well as starts to cook your vegetables. After a couple minutes, your onions are going to be translucent. And then you can start adding in your liquids. Start with the stock and a little bit of the cream. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back up to a boil, turn it down to a medium-low, and simmer for about 20 minutes until all the flour and roux is cooked out. After that, we are going to chill this mixture, and we will get right into our pie dough. Before chilling the mixture, make sure that we season and taste. Alright, so right here we've got a chilled pie crust. If you would like to buy one, that's fine. However, we did go over how to make a basic one in our Backs to Basic video this week, so go check that out. Otherwise, a pre-purchased pie crust is just fine. However, do make sure that it is chilled. A warm pie crust likes to split and break. To this, we will be adding the chilled filling. Notice that it's nice and thick. This allows it to not run out or break or sog out your pie. You want this to be a nice thick gravy, binding all of these wonderful ingredients, and not a runny soup inside of a shell. And to that, we are going to place the top crust on top and just push the two pieces of dough together to really seal this. It's very important that you seal these two pieces of dough together. Otherwise, your filling will become dry and it will seek out of your pie. So all we're doing here is trimming up the excess dough before we start folding the pie doughs and crusts over themselves. All you have to do for that is take the bottom and fold it right over the top. This allows you to seal your dough a little more, as well as adds a very basic crimp without actually having to learn the technique for it. This is a nice comfort food. It is not something that you're plating and showing off. It is something that gives you a warm and home feeling, so you might as well make it look like it was made in a warm and comforting home instead of in a professional kitchen. And we're just finishing sealing that up before we go into scoring our pie. Scoring the center of our pie allows a small amount of steam to escape without any of our filling leaking out. This stops air bubbles and everything else. We are going to bake this at 425 degrees for 35 to 45 minutes. That will allow the crust to become nice, flaky, and tender, and your center to be nice and warmed through. After that time, your pie is going to look like this. It's going to be beautiful, golden brown, and delicious. After a resting period, plate it up with a little arugula, and that's it, folks. That's it for this week's family meal. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we'll see you next week. Until then, eat well, be healthy, take care.